The Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities is investigating allegations of human rights abuse against the KwaSizabantu Mission. For an update on this probe, I'm joined by the Commission's chairperson, Professor David Mosoma. Very good afternoon to you, Prof. When did you, as the CRL Rights Commission, find out about the allegations against KwaSizabantu?
In fact, this particular issue was brought to our attention by the eyewitness, I think, in Durban, and they called to find out whether we have seen an article which was in News 24 regarding the abuses in that particular environment. And immediately we then activated our own structures to be able to get in touch with KwaSizabantu. What we are going to do is to have what you call Section 7, where we call in the KwaSizabantu people, leadership as it were, to come and explain to us what is actually happening there. But what we do need also are the people who have suffered the abuse under that particular environment. And in many instances, we do not get the support of the victims. So we need really the support of victims, because majority of them are afraid to be victimized as a result of them approaching us or telling us what they have experienced in that situation there. So we as CRL really are not happy about cults that are almost coming up in the country, as there are many cults, so to speak. And it will appear that these cults have generated a way in which our people are attracted to them, and finally they get abused, even extorted of their monies, and so forth and so forth. So this is a challenge for the country. Just a week ago, we're busy with another cult which is existing around Tembisa, and we are going to investigate that as well. And of course, unfortunately, the community there decided to ban the shrine of that cult, which is not something that we encourage, but we wanted to make sure that people are safe and that cults should not willy-nilly operate and use our people as guinea pigs for abuse and so forth and so forth.
Professor, I'd like to come in here, and I'd like us to clarify and get our definitions right. When we talk about cults, what are you talking about? What are you referring to? What is a cult?
A cult is a kind of religious organization that parades as a religious organization, mainly Christian religion. Mainly as Christians in that regard. But what takes place in there is the use of blood, the abuse of women, the abuse of the use of semen flowing from women for medicinal use. So this is the situation that we encounter here. Many of them, some of these cults, they have what they call, they buy powers from outside South Africa and attract people within them as religious environments, when in fact it is not. It is either the worship of some forces, but what we are against are the behavior, the practices of abusing of human people, or abusing of using, in some instances children disappear, and it is alleged some of the children have been abducted, but we have no evidence of that. We are still in search to get the police to help us to track precisely what is happening in this cultic environment. The cultic environment normally, in terms of definition, is that you have an organization that is under one authority. It does not allow anybody to speak to anyone. What is happening there is secretive, and so forth and so forth.
So what you're describing here is what looks like a religious organization, but actually it doesn't practice what it purports to believe in. So what powers does the Commission have in this particular regard? Let's say you do the investigations and you do find instances of wrongdoing. Should that be the case, what then?
Because we do not have the powers to arrest, what we then do is to refer the matter to the organ of state, in this instance, NPA or SAPS, and we do work with them where these individuals are arrested and prosecuted because they have those jurisdictional powers to do that. That's where our powers end, because we only recommend, we deal with them. Whatever they do thereafter, we can do follow-ups, but the extent of how quick they actually execute their job is not something that is within our control.
There are also issues of some individuals who were involved in this particular mission being threatened and being afraid to come forward. Is there any sort of protection for such individuals who might want to speak up but are afraid for their lives?
We do not have the powers to protect anybody, but we can then refer to the SAPS to assist us in the event an individual comes to us and says, listen, this is, I'm afraid, I can't speak. And then we can then call on the SAPS to help us. That's how we function. In terms of our act, we don't have those powers at all.
All right, I guess we'll leave our conversation at that for today. Professor, thank you very much for your time, as the CRL Rights Commission also jumps on the bandwagon, this following an investigation by News 24, an investigation that has transpired over a period of 7 months. And they are continuing with this particular investigation. And we too at Newsroom Africa Channel 405 will keep you updated as information arises. This is a developing story.